Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new week starting tomorrow. We are heading into the leadership week. This is week 4. One of my favorite topics to talk about. I actually do a series of trainings with organizations just for leadership. Emerging leadership, which is the folks that have never been in leadership positions before. Also, I do a series of leadership trainings for people who have been around for a while, but maybe they forgot how to treat their employees well or recognize and appreciate those that do such great work for them. Before I get into week 4, I do want to cover week 3 here. You have your first team assignment. I've posted a few times announcements. I said it in the last week's video. I'm going to say it again today, is work with the people that are communicating. If somebody's not communicating, somebody's not participating, just move forward without them. You need to submit that assignment tonight. It's your first team assignment. Once I see the assignments and who participated on assignments and where the work was distributed, then I'll make some decisions if I need to consolidate teams, move people around. This is the first team assignment for me to have a purview of activity. Now, if you're the project manager and somebody does perform, but they don't perform like everyone else and just sort of maybe punching the time card kind of work, you got to tell me that too. So the responsibility of the project manager is to send me an email tomorrow and say, hey, the whole team worked together. It was fabulous. We had a really good time. Or maybe Sarah didn't do much or was missing in action. I need to know these things because I'm not with your team while you do your work. First team assignment, though, is due tonight at midnight. Remember, if you're working with a client and you have a team, and then all of a sudden some people start missing on the team because maybe they have outside situations from work. So we also have to have an empathetic heart too, or they're on another project. You still have to deliver to that client. So think of me as your client. You're delivering me a SWOT analysis. If people are not all on the team, you still need, for the core team you're working with, get something in, okay? And I also mentioned I'll give some grace to grading this first team assignment because if you are short on people, it does take a toll. Okay, now back to this upcoming week. We have business challenges of today. That's the second chapter you're reading. By heavens, just think of AI and how that's going to impact all industries, some more than others. There are a lot of challenges we need to look at. Another aspect of business that I see fall short is a risk assessment. What are some of the risks you're going to be encountering as a business owner in whatever industry you're going into? Too often what I see is business owners are Pollyanna. They go in thinking it's not going to be a problem. They're going to be dialed in. They're going to figure out the secret sauce. And the risk assessment comes when a problem occurs and they didn't do any due diligence up front, which could have mitigated the problem. So something to think about as you go into business. What are some of the potential threats that you did in the SWOT analysis? What are some of the opportunities that you saw in that threat in the SWOT analysis? And then I want to go back again to chapter 7, leadership. One of the leading causes for businesses to fail is poor leadership. Right now, depending on whatever survey you look at, it's number 1 to number 3 in the reasons a business fails. And the reason for that is many people open a business, maybe it's a trade they do. For example, I do finished carpentry. If I eventually opened a business, it's because I like doing that type of work. I like working with wood, I like building tables or desks and so forth. However, that doesn't mean I know how to lead people. And all of a sudden now I might be getting a lot of orders and I need some help and I need some people to come in and I give them some of my blueprints of what I build and they start also replicating that as my employees. I'm good with wood, I'm good with carpentry, but I'm not good with people management. Leadership is not trained as much as I think it should be in our earlier years. And now when we get into a business environment, there are times when I have to lead people. And that's why I'm in the business of doing leadership trainings for businesses, to helping people when they grow in their business. So for example, maybe you got hired by a larger corporation. Maybe you're not going to be a small business owner. And you start off as a frontline employee, and before you know it, they're saying, hey, you're really good. Maybe you could be a shift supervisor. And before you know it, like when I was in the restaurant industry, I need you to manage one of my restaurants. Oh, okay, I was a good cook. Now I'm managing a restaurant, different skill set, and how do we set people up for success? And to that end, what we're going to do for our assignment this week is Agile Entrepreneurism. You're going to look at an entrepreneur out there and do an assessment and follow all these questions. Select an entrepreneur, develop a biographical essay, and I've got some examples for you. Please provide this assignment as a press release, and I'll show you what that looks like. And very most important is select an emerging entrepreneur. I don't want you to choose the big guns like Elon or Jeff or Mark or the Walmart family. A small local business, maybe a nice little food cart you go to, or someplace online where you purchase some things that is just niche business. And then beyond the in-depth bio, I want you to share with me of all the personalities available. Why was this entrepreneur intriguing to you? What do you see as their entrepreneur's competitive advantage? Did they address a problem, disrupt an existing industry, or are they thriving in a saturated marketplace? I work with small business owners often, and I meet 2 or 3 a year that want to open a coffee shop. Pretty tough in Portland. Where could they improve? What should they consider in the next 3 to 5 years? And finally, are they community engaged? If so, in what way? And if not, what could you suggest to them as a consultant? Okay, so the best again for me is to give you examples. And here's 2 examples, or 3 actually, that's cool. Ilana, I like her. She's one of my favorites of all time I've received. Okay. Grandmas and Hounds. Every cup helps a pup. So this is that community focus, but also for-profit business. Here's Jordan and Why Grounds and Pounds. And this is what I mean by press release. There's pictures, there's graphics, there's text boxes, but not looking like a college paper. So again, hopefully all of you made to this point of the video because this is what's most critical. Also, this Agile Entrepreneurism assignment is individual. Each of you will do one. I decided that I would like my efforts to work to address issues that connect with me personally about dogs, so the purpose of the business. And then more things. Come on, if you have a picture of a beautiful dog like this, why am I'm going to look at your document. So again, I think you can see what I'm talking about. How this flows, it's really nice. It's something that I would pick up and read because it has a nice balance. If I go back into our shell and look at another example, let's look at Nikki. Here it comes. She did Jasmine Crow and founder of Gooder, Feed More, Waste Less. It's a really cool business model, founded in 2017 as a social enterprise aimed at reducing food waste and combating hunger. Jasmine created the first platform for businesses to donate surplus food to local nonprofits. Again, your business does not have to be nonprofit. It can be a nonprofit, it can be a for-profit, or it could be a social entrepreneur's enterprise, which lies in the middle. So again, it's your choice, but again, you can see the look and feel of the document. That's really what I want to bring home here. So that's your assignment this upcoming week as you close off this week. And then in week 5, we have our last individual assignment, and then we get into the heavy teamwork. So I wanted to get you introduced to your team, start working for this first assignment. If I have to pivot a little bit, I have a couple weeks to get you in a new team. My goal is for you to have an extraordinary experience learning in this class and working with team members and not have too much heartburn. So if I see there's a heartburn point where not everybody's rallying to work, I'll make sure to get you to a place where you're going to see people thriving. Okay, folks, take care, and I'll talk to you next week, if not before.